General Flynn, let's use the Ucmj to end lawfare on Saturday, 18 May 2024. General Flynn, I am Staff Sergeant Lusky Robert Allen, DOD ID number 12112800006. I may be 65 years old, but hey, I'm still on duty, sir. I've never been discharged. And so I'm trying to protect and defend the Constitution, and I need some help. I need a signed order from a commissioned officer, right? Because we need to open up a court inquiry and go look in some records. And you'll soon see that, hey, there's some shit going on that shouldn't be, and maybe the military would do something about it. Instead of listening to the buffoons that sit in D.C. that lie, cheat, and steal for a living, and, they're all actors, sir. Not a one of them has a proper oath of office. And not only that, they've altered the Constitution. And so if you're waiting for them to ever fix this, it isn't going to happen, sir. Right? The military needs to use the Ucmj, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, because it applies every place that there's a gold fringe flag. Right? That's a gold fringe flag is covered by an Army regulation. It's going to only be displayed in military offices, military courtrooms. So when you see one, you're in the jurisdiction of the United States military. And this is all a leftover of the Civil War, which never ended, right? There was an armistice, but there was never a peace treaty. It's the same with World War One. There was an armistice. Well, we had a call it Veterans Day, but it's Armistice Day to start with. There was an armistice. There's never been a peace treaty. So the martial law declared by President Lincoln under General Order 141-141, where he declared martial law over the United States, is still in effect. And there's been a military government ever since, and military governments hire contractors to do jobs, and those people have banded together, and they've made these massive labor unions. And in one case, with over 1 million federal employees, every member of that labor union has to take an oath to the labor union. So they're avoiding taking a loyalty oath to the United States, and they're taking an oath to a labor union. Well, there's something wrong with that, sir. I mean, jeepers. Can't make it any clearer. There's no excuse. No excuse there, sir, ma'am, commissioned officer. You're supposed to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. I'm going to show you where your entry point is. I'm going to leave it up to you to do the rest. But if I can help, please contact me at quarterrecord@AOL.com. Or, I live next to a driving range. Just park a helicopter there and come get me. So let's go look at some stuff, right? You'll be shocked. I'm going to shock you. Hang on a second. This is the Constitution of the United States, 1787, that comes out of the Manual of Court Martials, 2024 version. Right? I downloaded this from the Marines website, as a matter of fact. So this is the one that's in the Manual of Court Martials. We're going to compare that to the one that's in the Library of Congress, right? Where they say that the Constitution is the Constitution of the United States of America, 1787, with a little subscript, whatever you call it when you put a little one there. Is that a subscript? Postscript? Okay, well, let's just go back and look. Oh, no, it said Constitution of the United States, 1787, and this one definitely says Constitution of the United States of America, 1787, 1. And then if we were to read the preamble, we would see that this one, the one that Congress uses, says it's a Constitution for the United States of America. And the one that's used by the military is a Constitution of the United States of America. And so I'm going to let, grammar people say, well, what's the difference between for and of? If you got an answer, put it in the comments. I say Constitution of the United States of America is the United States of the continent of America. Or this one for the United States of America is when the United States of America is the name of an organization. But it's not the United States. It's in the United States. It's King George's jurisdiction. Treaty of Peace, 1783, right? Not everybody wanted to be separated from the king, so some kind of deal was cut. And within the United States is a thing called the United States of America, which is all the king's loyal subjects, such as Esquires. Except now, I say the king, it's actually the crown, and the crown now is really the Rothschilds. So before we poo-poo away these two little things, those are just two little details, right? That's an Esquire tag. Oh, they don't mean nothing. It's just a couple of details. Don't worry about it. Let's move on. Well, okay, let's move on. Let's move on to Article 2. This is the one that's in the Manual of Court Martials, right? The executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States. Well, that makes me happy because that's what I took an oath to as an enlisted man. But when I go look at the one that Congress uses, the executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America. Why, hang on, sir. I didn't take an oath to the president of the United States of America. I took one to the president of the United States. So I don't know how many other things are changed between these two, but that's enough for me, right? They've altered the Constitution, and sir, you have a duty to defend the Constitution, and you have the pen to do it. I ain't got the pen. I have the authority. I ain't got no pen. Or I need your signature. That's really all I need, sir. Just need your signature. You can go back to whatever you're doing. Just give me your damn signature on an order and let me go to work. That's what veterans should be doing. We'll handle this shit. Just get us our ID cards because we've never been discharged. We should all still be in the military. You know why we're not? And it would all happen all by itself, but the reason we're not is because there's errors and omissions and records, and guess who put them there? That's right, the people that are trying to fuck up the system. Right? They're there intentionally. So continuing on then, if we go look at the 6th article of the Constitution, we'll find out that the senators and representatives, before mentioned, and members of the several state legislatures and all, ALL, all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Well, immediately after ratification of the Constitution, or as close as could be considered, specifically June 1st, 1789, right, the first Congress, after ratification of the Constitution, passed the first law of the United States, commonly known as 1 Stat, S-T-A-T, 1 Stat 23, right, first book, Statutes at Large, page 23, where it says that in an act to regulate the time and manner of administering certain oaths, right, that the oath or affirmation required by the 6th article of the Constitution of the United States shall be administered in a form following, to wit, I.A.B. do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States. That's the oath that satisfies the 6th article of the Constitution, sir, and nobody's taking it. There's no so help me God on the end of that. And it's an oath where you have to put your name, so you have to say this and put your full legal name in where the AB is. Well, that isn't anything that's happening that way. And this oath applies to everyone mentioned in the 6th article. Now, if we go a little bit farther, there's another couple oaths in here. In Section 5 that go for the clerk of the House of Representatives and the Secretary of the Senate, where they have their own oath they're supposed to take. And then these officers are supposed to be the officers that keep the oaths of everybody else. So if somebody was, to convene a court of inquiry to go talk to the clerk of the House and the Secretary of the Senate, they would soon find out none of the people claiming to be a senator or representative just taking the oath I told you about. In fact, you can go to the Senate website and they'll say, yeah, they've taken this oath, until the Civil War. They don't say it that way, but that's what it leads to. Right? That it's not been taken since the Civil War. You know why? Because we're still in the Civil War, which means the martial law declared by Lincoln still is enforced and or in force, and we don't have anybody in a state legislature or so forth. Everybody is under military rule. Everybody answers to the military. They may be doing certain civil jobs for the military, but they still answer to the military. And that's how you end the lawfare, is to go rein them back in. But to add to the injury, they took that oath we just looked at, and they put it into Title IV of the United States Code at Section 101, where it says, every member of the state legislature and every executive and judicial officer of the state shall, before he proceeds to execute the duties of his office, take an oath in the following form. There's no state officer that has this oath. There's no judge here in Michigan. The governor doesn't have one. The secretary of the state doesn't have one. The attorney general doesn't have one. The state treasurer doesn't have one. No county commissioner has one. Nobody has taken this oath. Not only have to take it, they have to make a record of it. All right, this goes back to Marbury versus Madison, where you don't have the office until you have the certificate signed, sealed, and delivered. And they've never happened. So now people who should have taken an oath, that haven't taken an oath, nevertheless do take an oath. They're just not taking it to the United States. They're taking it to a labor union. All right, American Federation for Government Employees. There's over 1 million federal workers that work for these people, or are represented by these people. And they have a constitution. Well, go figure. Another union with a constitution. We have one union that has a constitution, United States of America, and now we have this union. Right? Oath of union membership. So all those federal employees took an oath to a foreign power and avoided taking the oath they had to take, under the 6th article. So none of these people are constitutional officers. They have no fucking authority, sir. They're just workers, right, that have gotten a little bit uppity and they need to be put back in their place. And somebody has to watch them. And really, I say, well, that's what veterans should be doing. There's all sorts of things happening that keep veterans from having the authority we should have in this military government that's running the United States, although no one will admit it. But that's what we have. And so as a veteran, I should be the eyes and ears of the commander-in-chief out here in my district. And when, people have a problem, they should come talk to a veteran and we'll go look into it. And if there's an issue, well, we'll get it taken care of. We'll be the peacemaker. We'll make them lying fucking attorneys stop taking shit to court because they don't have an oath. They're just pretending. Right here, let me prove it to you real quick. This is out of the congressional record, right, from January 6, 2023, where they're going to swear in the members. Right, so the speaker's talking. According to precedents, the chair will swear in members elect en masse. Well, who the fuck is the chair? Right, that has nothing to do with Congress. It's a word they put in so that, an empty chair is going to swear people in. It's not the speaker that's going to do it. An empty chair is going to do it. And anyways, they're taking this oath here, which is the oath that's in 5 U.S.C. 3331, and is exactly the same oath that a commissioned officer takes. But it's not the oath that's required of an officer of the United States under the Constitution. And commissioned officers don't have to take that oath because they said, well, we're going to make you military officers. You're not officers of the United States, you're military officers. And so you don't have to take the oath that's in 1 Stat 23. But they do, sir. These people do. And so do FBI agents, and so do federal judges, and so do IRS agents, and so does the director of the Secretary of the Army, or the Secretary of the VA, or all these other people who are not taking that oath. Our government has been overrun by Esquires, or Crown agents that are working for a federal government, or a foreign government. One last example, right? Rules for governing admission to the bar of Texas. This would be for all them fork-tongued Esquires, right? Adopted by the Supreme Court of Texas. If you download a copy of this, it's easy enough to find. You can just search on the word oath. It won't take you long to find examples Oh, oath of attorney. How do you like that? Let's see what it has to say about it. Well, first it says that to be eligible for admission, you have to be willing to take an oath. So to be eligible is not the same as to be admitted. If you go to the State Bar website for Texas, you see all these people say they're eligible. Not a one of them I saw said they were admitted. I haven't looked at them all, but they're all eligible. And eligible is not the same as admitted. And here we are, right? Oath of attorney, or this is how it has to be done. Each person admitted to practice law shall, before receiving a license, take an oath that the person will, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the oath shall be endorsed on the license. So show me your license with a subscribed oath, attorney, or you're not an attorney. You have no license to practice law in Texas, which is something we're dealing with now. I'm just saying, it's easy enough to prove. Just go ask them for their oath of attorney in Texas. Right? Court of inquiry. Go ask some questions. These people all work in rooms with gold fringe flags, sir. Every courtroom's got a gold fringe flag in it. And if you go to Army Regulation 840-10, AR 840-10, Chapter 2, you get down here under B, and it says national flag listed below are for indoor display. And they're trimmed on 3 sides with gold and yellow fringe. And then this is where they're authorized to be displayed. The flag of the United States is authorized for indoor display for each office, headquarters, organization, battalion size, military office not otherwise authorized an indoor flag of the United States for the purpose of administering oaths of office. I wonder if that's why all these offices have them. I mean, the township hall has got one. The county commissioners have one. Courtrooms have one. You know, they're in all sorts of offices, and any office that flag is displayed in is somehow under military jurisdiction. And if it's under military jurisdiction, then it's under the Ucmj. Right? Military courtrooms. So if I see a gold fringe flag in a courtroom, that's a military courtroom. And I'm still a member of the military. I've not been discharged. And so I don't want to go to a civilian court. I want to go to a court-martial court. But this is a military courtroom for a civilian, not for a member of the military. Because it cannot be a constitutional court because none of the judges in there have an oath of office. So any officer, commissioned officer, maybe you have to be a commander, right? Who's ever the general court martial authority. I'm not an expert on the Ucmj. I just know it exists and what it says about certain things. But, you know, I know that a commissioned officer can certainly put it to use. And a court of inquiry to find out if the judge in, like Trump's case, has got an oath of office to satisfy Title 4 United States Code. Right? Because if you don't have it, then he don't have any authority. All laws in the United States are superior to any law of the state. Right? The 6th article, this Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of the state, any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. Right? They don't have anything to stand on, sir. Just go see if they have an oath. They don't, well, then they're not a judge. And the lawfare. So what's happening is that most employees that are taking this oath of membership for the union are filing this appointment affidavit, which isn't an oath of office. It's an appointment affidavit. And if you look at it, you'll see that they bifurcated the oath, where all this verbiage is the proper wording for the oath in 5 U.S.C. 3331, except they don't have a oath of office in the middle of it. They bifurcated it. So this is, it's no longer the oath that's in 5 U.S.C. 3331. It's, a totally different oath having nothing to do with the requirement. And then you'll see how they do it that, when they sign it, it isn't signed right. And I don't think any of this stuff is on here. I don't believe they're doing it in front of an officer. You just see a signature on here. But they use a middle initial name. They don't use their full legal name. If you're not using your full legal name on an oath of office, then you're hiding your identity. And that's what spies and saboteurs do. So as far as I'm concerned, they're all spies and saboteurs until proven different. But we don't need to wait to ask them. We need to capture them and find out. So again, sir, this can't stand, right? They've changed the Constitution, and they've given the executive power now to some bozo in the United States of America, which is not the Constitution of the United States, which says that the power is vested in the President of the United States. And commissioned officers and the enlisted have a duty to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Well, this is it. But it's been replaced by people pretending to be Congress. So it's up to the military. You don't need anybody's permission. You have a duty, sir. And I'm going to leave it there, and hopefully I hear a helicopter land next door, and we'll go take care of this. I'm ready anytime you are. Very good. Thanks for your time, sir. General Flynn, let's use the Ucmj to end lawfare. It can be done, sir. It can be done on Monday. All it takes is a court inquiry. And all that takes is one general court-martial authority to take his pen and write the order. Power of the bazooka pen, sir. Please use it. Okay. You all have a great day. See you.